here in Groff Hall on England Avenue. I'm Audrey.
And I'm Jillian Enriquez.
And today we're going to be discussing two very significant paintings. The first one that we're going to be looking at is called the Sistine Madonna.
As we look at this painting as a whole, we can see the curtains drop downward to the sides. And then on the bottom of the painting, we see two baby angels.
Yes.
It almost seems like it's a window.
Yeah, like a window looking into heaven.
Yes, that's what I was thinking too. I mean, these clouds are everywhere. It looks like heaven to me.
It certainly does. Now, let's take a look at the figures in the painting specifically.
Yes.
Let's look at the Madonna holding a baby.
And I believe that's baby Jesus, right?
Yes.
Now let's look at their facial expressions.
Yeah, it seems like they're very unpleasant, some type
Yeah,
of...
like distraught, not enjoying himself being carried by his mother.
Yeah, it's very confusing what's going on.
I almost feel offended. It looks like he's kind of mugging me,
Yeah.
Now let's talk about Madonna. Is it Madonna?
Yes. Well, people has assumed that the Madonna is Raphael's mistress.
Yes, and I believe her name is Margarita.
Yeah,
like the drink.
Something like that.
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
that's what I believe.
Margarita Lodi.
Yes.
Now, as you can see, her dress is somewhat swaying.
Yes, I see that. It kind of portrays some motion in this painting.
Yeah, like a wind is blowing towards her.
Yes, but what I also noticed is that the wind is only blowing towards the baby and the Madonna.
Yeah.
And I don't really see any motion in the clothing of the two figures beside them.
Yes, that's very true. Now, who exactly are these two other figures? So, the other heavenly being kneeling on the right side of the Madonna and the baby is this old-looking man wearing gold and white, and he's looking upwards.
Yes.
And interestingly enough, the other woman on the left side of the Madonna is not looking towards the Madonna, but away.
Yes, away from them. And I believe her name is Saint Barbara?
Yes, Saint Barbara. And it's as if she's looking away because they're just too glorious and too divine.
Yes, too divine to look at the Madonna and the baby. But what I find very interesting is as we look closer to the fingers of Pope Sixtus, we can see that he has 6 fingers.
Yeah, he has 5 fingers and a thumb.
A thumb. So it's as if he has an extra index finger, I believe.
Yes, it's a very weird and unusual phenomenon that we don't quite understand why.
Yes, I agree. What is this supposed to mean?
Yeah. Now, as we transition to the bottom of the painting, we're going to take a closer look at the famous and iconic angels.
Can't forget about those famous angels that we see everywhere, actually.
Yeah. You may have seen it on Valentine cards.
Yes.
Yeah, in homes and baby products.
Yes.
It's funny because there's hundreds and thousands of people who don't realize that these angels are plucked from a bigger picture.
Yes, even I did not even know that these angels were part of a bigger painting.
Yeah, the Sistine Madonna. And
Yes.
it's just, it's so beautiful that, people only want the angels.
Yes, what's so significant about these two angels?
Yeah, it's beautiful.
This painting is beautiful overall and it has many different meanings that questions many people.
Yeah, and as beautiful as it is, we're gonna move on to the next painting.
Yes, yes.
So as we move on to the next painting, Raphael was the artist of the last painting, but here he is present and in his studio, and
Yes.
on his lap it is a woman who happens to be his mistress.
Yes, his mistress, Margarita Lutti.
Yes.
And what's interesting is because her name in this painting is La Foranina, which means bakeress, the daughter of a baker. And Ingres paints this picture to reveal his thoughts about their relationship. Their relationship was forbidden, but they found ways to stay together.
Oh, wow.
And this painting just tells the story about their relationship. Yes.
Now let's examine Raphael and how Ingres portrays Raphael.
Yes, yes. He, in this picture, is looking away from his mistress. However, he is looking towards the painting that he's painting of her.
Yes.
And you can see that it's almost as if he's ignoring her. And I would be kind of mad if my boyfriend or man or significant other was not paying attention to me, but to a painting. That's kind of
That's rude.
That's rude,
That's
and
very rude.
that's weird.
Yeah. So I took notice that Ingres places Margarita in 3 different areas of the painting.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
You didn't notice?
No.
Oh, well, now you know.
So why don't you point out the areas where she's present in the paintings?
Okay, so the first place where Ingres places Margarita is in her human form.
Yes, obviously. Yes.
Yeah, sitting on Raphael's lap. And she's looking towards us while he is looking away.
Yes.
And the second area where she's placed is in the way back of the painting.
Oh, I see that now.
She's somewhat creeping and looking towards the audience.
Yes, I find that quite weird. Like, she looks over her shoulder, her body's faced towards the side.
Yes.
That's just very creeper status.
It certainly is. Now, as we take a look at the painting in the back, it's actually by Raphael himself, and he actually titles it
Madonna of the Chair.
Madonna of the Chair, yes. And he perfectly cuts out the painting where it's just Madonna, and she's just creeping
over her shoulder.
Yes.
And it's interesting because he cuts off the baby that's part of the real painting.
Yes.
But as we move to
the far right,
it's an unfinished painting that Raphael paints of his mistress.
Yes. And the title of this unfinished painting is called the La Fornerina.
Yes, the La Farinina, and that's another portrait that Raphael paints of his mistress.
So Ingres leaves us wondering about this painting, whether he was admiring their relationship or whether he is telling the audience to not let a
Relationship, yes.
interfere with one's work.
Yes, it's been said that Raphael was unable to focus on his paintings without having his mistress present by his side. So this kind of leaves us wondering